Okay, fine guys, let us continue that. So Pauli's exclusion principle is finished and boson condensation is finished. Now we'll write a important remark here, so that is regarding the total wave function, as the Pauli's exclusion principle and boson condensation will result some important point here. The total wave function of a system. The total wave function will be, what should be the total wave function and what are the restrictions on it? The wave function of a single particle is equal to the product of spatial part and spin part. So we have observed that it will have the spatial part as well as the spin part. Even for a stationary state, suppose we are talking about the stationary state. So for a stationary state, it consists the two parts. One will be of space part, another one will be of spin part. So that I want to write here. The wave function of a single particle is equal to the product of the spatial part and the spin part. So that means the wave function psi Rs will be is equal to space part and spin part. Let's say spin part will be representing like this, xi. So this is the scenario. Okay. So the wave function of a single particle is equal to the product of the spatial part and the spin part. Okay, fine. Now let us write this total wave function for a boson family and for a fermion family. For a boson family, it must be symmetric, and for fermion family, it must be antisymmetric. Remember, it consists two parts. One is spatial part, another one is spin part. Okay. So that means that can be written like this more clearly for n particle system. It is something like this. Psi in the capital form, that is psi. That is, it has the coordinates r1, spatial coordinates r1, r2 and so on, rn, and the spin coordinates s1, s2 and so on, sn. So that is for a particle 1, r1 is the spatial coordinate, s1 is the spin coordinate. For the second particle, or otherwise you can say other particle, r2, s2. For nth particle, it is like this. That will be is equal to product of, we can separate because spin does not depend upon the space or space does not depend upon the spin. That is r1, r2 and so on, rn. Then spin part s1, s2 and so on, sn. This is the scenario. Yeah, this must be either totally symmetric totally antisymmetric. Totally antisymmetric. total symmetric that belongs to the boson family, total antisymmetric that belongs to the fermion family. So let us write the wave function, how it looks like. For bosons, for boson family, it must be symmetric function, that is psi must be symmetric. It must be symmetric. The coordinates of the particles r1 s1, r2 s2, and so on, rn sn will be is equal to so antisymmetric. See, it has a two parts. One is the spatial part, another one will be the spin part. The product should be symmetric. So that means spatial part is antisymmetric and spin is also antisymmetric. That is, remember, antisymmetric multiply with antisymmetric will be symmetric. Symmetric multiply with symmetric is again symmetric. So antisymmetric multiplication will give symmetric. Symmetric and symmetric multiplication will give the symmetric. You remember this rule. So spatial part I am taking as a antisymmetric. Spin part I am taking as a antisymmetric. That is, antisymmetric will give symmetric. Now symmetric and symmetric will give the symmetric function. This is the symmetric. Then you take the spin part is also symmetric. Okay. For bosons, antisymmetric multiplied by antisymmetric will give the symmetric. For symmetric multiplied by symmetric again will give the symmetric. So for boson family, the state function must be symmetric. For that purpose, I am taking here space part is antisymmetric, even spin part is also antisymmetric. So this product should be symmetric. Or another option, space part is symmetric and spin part is again symmetric. Remember, here we are discussing about the symmetric and everything under the interchange of pair of particles, that is permutation operator. Okay, fine. So this is the construction of wave functions for boson family. Now what about for the fermion family? For fermions, for bosons it is over. Now for fermions. So we know that for fermions it must be of antisymmetric wave function. Antisymmetric wave function. That is R1 S1, R2 S2, and so on, Rn Sn. That will be is equal to that will be is equal to. So now remember, it will be anti-symmetric. So anti-symmetric and symmetric will give the anti-symmetric. Symmetric and anti-symmetric again will give the anti-symmetric. You remember this rule. So here I am taking space part will be anti-symmetric, R1 and so on Rn, and spin part I am taking as the symmetric, S1 and so on Sn. Spin part, like space part, you can take now symmetric, R1 and so on Rn, and spin part will take anti-symmetric. Okay, fine. See, remember here, be careful, we want the asymmetric wave function. The space function is asymmetric but spin is symmetric. Or another option, space is symmetric and spin is asymmetric. These are the two possibilities. So this is the way of constructing, wave function for a boson family, for a fermion family. Now we take one example that you can understand very easily. Yeah, I'll take an example to understand this. Find the wave function of two systems. Find the wave function of two systems of identical non-interacting particles. Identical non-interacting particles. One is two bosons, then second one will be of two spin half fermions. Two fermions whose spin will be of half. So in this problem, we need to construct wave function of identical indistinguishable particles. So two particles are there. So in first part, take it is a boson family, and the second part, take it as a fermion family. Let us see how to construct the bosons and fermions. First we will construct for the fermions. Bosons. That is easy. For bosons, but the total wave function must be symmetric. It must be symmetric. The total wave function must be symmetric. So how many are there? Only two particles. R1 S1 is a one coordinate. R2 S2 is another coordinate. So that is normalized wave functions will take. That will be is equal to. So here we have already written. What is it? For bosons. See here. For bosons, one is asymmetric. That is space part is asymmetric. Then spin part will is also asymmetric. Symmetric and symmetric. Asymmetry into asymmetry and symmetry into symmetry. That we need to write here. Let us write. Yeah. Of course, I am writing here 1 by root 2 is the normalization constant. So now write for the asymmetry, asymmetry, and symmetric, symmetric. So first asymmetry, asymmetric wave function. The spatial part I am writing psi n1 r1 psi n2 r2 psi n1 r2 psi n2 r1. Okay, fine. So over, this is the asymmetry of the space part. Now spin is also asymmetric. Spin is also asymmetric. Spin is also asymmetric. So asymmetry, asymmetry part is over. Now another option will be symmetry and symmetry. Psi n1 r1 psi n2 r2 plus psi n1 r2 psi n2 r1. This is the symmetry. Now the spin part is also must be symmetry. S1 S2. Okay, so this is for the boson family. Now go for the fermion family. So symmetric wave function we have constructed. So be careful here. Asymmetry of the space part and asymmetry of the spin part. Similarly, symmetry of the space part, symmetry of the space part. So done. This is the asymmetry and this is the symmetry, and this is the symmetry and this is the symmetry. Okay, then overall wave function must be symmetric. This is the overall wave function must be symmetric. Now go for the fermions. So what type of fermions? Spin half fermions. Go for the fermions. For fermions, remember the wave function must be asymmetric. For fermions, the wave function must be asymmetric. So asymmetry and symmetry, or symmetry and asymmetry, two possibilities. So let us write the same thing. R1 S1 R2 S2 1 by root 2 asymmetry and symmetry we need. Asymmetry and symmetry. R1 into R2 minus N2 R1. That is symmetric function S1 S2. Psi N1 R1 psi N2 R2 plus psi N1 R2 psi N2 R1 asymmetry S1 S2. Okay, so we need to construct the asymmetric wave function. So this we require the condition asymmetry. So space part, here it is anti-symmetric. This will be the symmetric, and this will be of symmetric, and this will be of anti-symmetric. So this is the way of constructing asymmetric wave function for fermions. Okay, so be careful. We need to calculate here the space part separately and the spin part separately. So we need to club them appropriately such that the total wave function must be either completely symmetric or completely asymmetric. Now we talk about the spin part. So now we talk about the spin part, because for fermions that will talk about the spin part. So this is, here we use the ideas that we have developed in the general theory of formalism of angular momentum. So here we use the idea of, we use the concepts of addition of general theory of angular momentum. General theory of angular momentum. Yeah. So here we are using the S, that is the total spin, that is S1 plus S2. So we will see that symmetric wave function, symmetric of S1, S2. So symmetric wave function is a triplet. The three states are possible. For anti-symmetric S1 and S2, single state is possible. Single state is possible. Okay, so that we will see. So triplet state and a singlet state. Yeah. So let us revise. A quantum state will be represented as spin state, spin angular momentum, that we have learned in the previous sessions. Quantum mechanics 1. So a state will be represented by S spin and ms. Okay. For a particle, spin half, ms value is either plus half or minus half. It is of minus half. Generally this is called the spin up state. This is called as the spin down state. Spin up and spin down states. So generally the spin up state indicated with alpha. Spin up state indicated with alpha. Spin down state will be indicated with the beta. If I write alpha, that means spin up state. If I write beta, that is the spin down state. This is the, like that we have learned in the angular momentum chapter in the previous quantum mechanics course. Okay, fine. Now construct the symmetric wave function. Here the two spins are there. Here the two spins are there. Here we have two spins. So both are of, the total spin will be, it can be of, total spin is S1 plus S2. So S1 plus S2. So both are is of 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2. Both are vectors here, remember. These are one vectors. Then what is the resultant can be? The resultant of S can be here. S can be of 1 or S can be of 0. Both are in the same upward state. They will be of 1 and it will be 0. When S is 1, for S is equal to 1, then ms values will be 2s plus 1 values. That is 3 values. Minus 1, 0 and 1. For S is equal to 0, then it has only one value, ms values. Okay. So let me construct the triplet state, that is symmetric, and singlet state, that is anti-symmetric, of these two particles. We need to write the combination of these two particles, 1 and 2. Yeah. So that is, we need to use the idea of, it is a two particle system. Construction of wave function for two particle system. So construction of function two particle system. two particle system. Okay, let us construct here. For triplet symmetric wave function will construct. First, triplet symmetric. Triplet symmetric. The symmetric function will be like this. S1, S2. These can be. Now remember that two particles must be symmetric under the interchange operator. So it can be represented like this. Symmetric. Let's say first particle in the spin up state, even second particle is also in the spin up state. I have written here what is alpha. Alpha is here. S value anyway half, forgot about that. MS value is important, plus half. Both the particles in the, now the particles are identical. You can interchange them, no issues. Okay. Another possibility is spin down state. So, spin down state of first particle and spin down state of second particle. Symmetric. This is symmetric. This is symmetric. Now their combination we construct, and of course there is a 1 by root 2, the factor will come, normalization factor. First particle or one particle, we can say any one particle in spin up state, other particle is spin down state. This is also symmetric under the interchange of 1 and 2. You can interchange here 1 and 2, no issues. Here interchange 1 and 2, no issues. Here you interchange 1 and 2, you will get this. So this is the symmetric function. Triplet symmetric. Then what about asymmetric wave function? We need to construct the asymmetric wave function. That is obviously a singlet. Asymmetric. Singlet asymmetric. Singlet asymmetric. Okay. So let's say asymmetric wave function we need to construct for the two particle system. And of course there is a 1 by root 2 normalization. So alpha 1 beta 2 minus alpha 2 beta 1. Okay, this is the singlet symmetric function. That's it. You can interchange the 1 and 2. You will get the minus of that. That is the asymmetric wave function. It satisfies the condition of asymmetry. Okay, fine. I hope it is clear. So what is the Pauli's exclusion principle? So that's what, let us go through the entire session once again. So this class will be divided into two parts. In the first part, that is a Pauli's exclusion principle. So in a given quantum state, at most one fermion can occupy. This is what actually we have seen, the various statements related to the Pauli's exclusion principle. The slated determinant will become 0. Grouping is like condensation is prohibited for the fermions, but for bosons condensation is 100% accepted. So there is no restriction on the number of bosons that can occupy a single state. Okay. Now we need to construct the total wave function. It consists of two parts. One is of spatial part, another one will be of, so one is of space part. So this is the space part. Another one will be the spin part. This is the spin part. The space part and the spin part arranged in such a way that the total wave function will comes out to be either completely symmetric or completely asymmetric. Okay, fine. So this is the way, totally symmetric for bosons and totally antisymmetric for fermions. So you remember this logic here. What is that? Antisymmetric multiplication of antisymmetric will give symmetric. Symmetric multiplication will give the symmetric for bosons. So, okay, for bosons we have constructed the wave function. For fermions also we have constructed. Remember, for antisymmetric and symmetric will be antisymmetric, and symmetric and antisymmetric will be antisymmetric. This is the way we constructed. Then we have taken one example to write the wave functions for a two particle systems. One is of two bosons, another one is of two fermions whose spin will be half. Then we have seen that for bosons it is a symmetric wave function. That is only possibility for, like, it is very simple, it is very clearly visible. For fermions also we have written. The thing is, when we want spin state, the spin states will be how many possibilities are there for two particles. So obviously there are four possibilities will be there. Both the particles will be in the spin up state, both the particles will be in the spin down state, one particle up and one particle down, and another particle up and down, like this. So out of that, as they are identical, so that is spin up and spin down, or spin down and spin up will be the same, that state. So that means only states which are symmetric, two states of, like, three states of symmetric is possible and one state of asymmetry is possible when we take the two particles each of spin half. So the notations that we adopted in the first quantum mechanics course, we learned the general theory of angular momentum. A state can be represented with the, suppose if the total angular momentum is there, generally will represent like this, J and that's mj values, like this. And we have seen that they are quantized and their values and all those things. So, okay, the spin up state and spin down state, we need the addition of that. I'll get 1 or 0. So constructing a wave function for a two particle system. The first particle is spin up and second particle also spin up. See, they are identical. We cannot distinguish them. They are indistinguishable particles. So this is the way of constructing symmetric wave function, and this is the way of constructing asymmetric wave function. Okay. So be careful. Go through your textbook for more elaborations. So any doubts that can be discussed. Okay. Fine. I hope everything is clear. I'll stop here.